Hi everyone, welcome back to Spiritual Growth Tarot. I'm Denise. Thank you for being with me while I check in to March 11th, so it's Thursday, March 11th, 2021. And I'm using the Light Seers Tarot as usual, and I will also follow up with the Spirit Animal Oracle. Okay, so 3 cards for... What is the message we need to know? So our theme is Death Rebirth. Excellent. It's actually good. And Lovers Reversed. Oh, I love this. Okay. Knight of Swords reversed as well. These are the 2 flanking cards that mirror each other. But here's our theme. So with the Death Rebirth card, this is a card of big changes. And it can sometimes be scary, getting into the void, because even though, as humans, we make plans and then the universe sometimes laughs at us. And other times it works out just fine. And it's a transit that we're having to go through, a transition, a gateway. I always look at the majors as gateways. So coupled with the Lovers reversed, I feel like we're at a new stage of a deeper level of self-love. When the Lovers is reversed, it's the card of learning a deeper level of self-love. That is a huge gateway, and that does create a rebirth. It changes how you're mirrored in relationship, because of course, relationships are mirrors. And when you truly love yourself, then you're not going to tolerate anybody in your life that doesn't show you that same amount of love. And while it can sometimes be painful and people leave, or you make them leave, or you leave, taking responsibility for your relationships is really important. It's really important to not stick around or allow anybody to, abuse us or talk down to us. Or neglect even. Neglect is a form of abuse. To not care for us is no longer, we're no longer going to tolerate anything like that. So, the more we love ourselves, the more we keep opening up to a new gateway of transformation. This card is actually, I think, one of the most beautiful cards in the deck, because it, like I said, it brings in these new starts. I like this card as much as I like the Wheel of Fortune. But, of course, the Wheel of Fortune is the number 10 card, so there's more of a lesson there where, there's the ups and downs of life, but then we go through, at least in the Rider-Waite sequential, gateways of the majors, we go through from the Wheel of Fortune and creating these, exercising our free will and turning, the wheel here, let me show you. The way we want things to go. Let's do it this way, real quick. Let's pretend. No, that doesn't work. I have foiled myself again. Okay, 13 and then 14. Okay, so let's just do something real quick. So let's look at these 4 majors as, actually no, 5 majors. Let me just move these others out of the way for a moment. Bear with me, I've suddenly forgotten how to count. Okay. Don't you love it when you crack yourself up? Let's see how lame we can get this morning. Okay, so sequentially, we're moving from this. Well, actually, even before that, I feel like the Hermit is such an important card, because that's the gateway where we decide to go in. We go in to get our guidance. We go on a spiritual quest to find out who we truly are. And we learn that we can create our own reality. And then from that point, the Wheel of Fortune teaches us that, wait, we can make the wheel spin. If we're willing to, a little dice up here, remind me, take a risk, go for what you want, expect the best, right? Expect miracles. Then what happens is that what seems like fate turns into a place where you're balancing out how the universe will always mirror you back. So everything that we have inside of us is always mirrored back in the universe. It's just like, the Carl Jung quote, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. I feel like that quote kind of goes better with the strength card. But it applies, I think, to all of them, because justice comes in and teaches us that we have to balance out our soul substance. We have to balance out the places where we didn't know how to love ourselves because we didn't have completely, all of ourselves yet. And then from there, we're working on it, and then we surrender. We drop into life in a whole new way, and we look at life from many different angles. And we're searching for the false beliefs, but we're also searching for the truth. We're trying to heal the false beliefs and find the truth. And that brings us in through the gateway of death and rebirth. So we're letting go. It's like death to the old that doesn't work anymore, death to the lies, death to the unhealthy ego, and then we rebirth into a really healthy place, and we will cycle back and forth. It's not a linear process, even though I'm trying to convey it that way with the cards, but it's really a spiraling in. It's a circular process where you're going in like the peels of an onion, or like, any spiral. Just imagine any spiral, how beautiful that is. And eventually get inside the core. Get inside the core of who you truly are. And along the way, you're clearing out and pulling weeds out of who you are not. It's like, no, wait, I'm not this. I'm not gonna just jump into any relationship without going slowly. Yeah, there's always the offer. There's always the erotic force that wants to join. But wait, I'm gonna love myself enough to go as slow as I need to go. So we create our own fate. We have our own free will. Some things are destined, of course, because of our past lives. And yeah, we do have to go through it and process it through. But then all along the way, we're rebalancing the soul substance. We're rebalancing the scales of so-called fate. And we change our fate when we do that. Now, I don't know if we can totally change our fate as to like when we're supposed to leave this dimension and go back home. That may be something that's predestined, but there also may be like checkout points to where we can go if we want, or we can stay and work a little harder maybe, or maybe we already worked hard enough and we get to stay and bring in what would have been our next incarnation, and we get to have it in this life. And I've definitely experienced that, and that's what's, another element of this card. Because then we dive into the Temperance card, which brings us into that place where we're bridging the gap, and we are completely aware that we are human and divine, and we're working to, and it's another like balancing card, we're working to be more tolerant of ourselves and be less judgmental of ourselves and others, and to love ourselves through whatever it is that we need to go through. And we're opening up more and more and more and saying yes to life. We're not saying no as often, we're saying yes more to life. So you can see how we just, this goes back and forth, and we go through all these gateways until we don't need to anymore. So, okay, so let's get back to, let's bring in the Knight of Swords reversed. Well, that card's all about going slow. It means that we're not just going to jump into a relationship that isn't loving, and this means all relationships. We get to go slow and take our time. It doesn't matter if it's friend, lover, family relationships even. I think family members can teach us the most how to love ourselves by testing us. And for the most part, we love them enough to, go through it with them. But then at some point we grow up and we have to teach them who we really are, right? I mean, that just happens. And that's actually a good thing to do that, to go slow rather than just take off and go your own way and say, oh, the heck with it. So on another level, this card speaks to that the death rebirth process, the rebirthing process, is slow. It's an act of self-love to go back inside and just allow and accept the process. It's a beautiful thing to go through. I always feel like, wait, let me get my cards back together here. 9, here we go. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. And move these back so I don't mix up my decks. I always feel like it's really important to go slow and make sure it's thorough. And the only way that we can do that, I think, is to go in that state of allowing the transformation process, and then allow your guides to, your guides and your guardian angels and just the life force within you to let you know, like, okay, now it's time to move forward. But these cards are both about waiting. It reminds me of, being, like, imagine being a caterpillar and going through the cocoon phase. And I mean, the caterpillars liquefy. They turn into water, complete water. They completely reorganize their essence and turn into a butterfly. They go from a little creature just crawling along with all these little legs and, spiky little things coming out of them. And and it doesn't matter if it's like the nudie branch under the sea or, whatever type of creature with wings under the sea. They're wingless, but they're beautiful. They're gorgeous. But in the earthly, or above the land, in the landed, I don't know if that's the right word, in the grounded realm above the ocean, of course they have wings, and it's a beautiful process to see if you watch it in nature. If you've ever watched a butterfly come out of a cocoon, it's just amazing. And of course, we all love the end result. Or at least most of us do. I have a granddaughter that butterflies freak her out. I don't know what happened in a past life there, but they really freak her out. Might be because so many of them all at once. That's been the only experience I've had with her. It's like, good thing we were in a car because she didn't like it. Like going through a big swarm of butterflies, and I had to stop because I didn't want to hit them. And she's like, no, they might get in. I go, oh, let's just wait and let them fly away. So, but anyway, this is about slowing down. So slowing down and allowing the process. Letting the rebirth be complete. I mean, it's like, when you're going to give birth, well, people do schedule, they do their own induced. I don't really, unless there's a danger to the mom, I certainly don't, I don't go for that, but it's been done for a long time. Usually makes for a very hard labor. But yeah, just like, the way the baby needs to come in at its own time, again, unless it's needing to get out of the womb and it's not wanting to, then there's a lot of soul forces going along or going together with birth. So, okay, what are the 3 animal spirit cards that can help us? Kitty says, claim your independence. And Cow says, miracles are endless. Oh, and Otter says, you're never alone. Wow. I'll bring this one up closer so you can see. It's a heart, and there's two otters together, of course. Maybe I should just be quiet so you can take it in. I love otters. They're so playful. There's a website on the Oregon Zoo where you can go and you can sign up for. I think you can sign up. I always see it on Facebook. I just follow them on Facebook, but they share videos of their otters often. Yeah, and then check out this cow. So the miracles are endless. So that's the message. So I guess it is kind of a miracle when you think about the way we never truly die. We just keep rebirthing and transitioning through another gateway. And the way butterflies, the way caterpillars transform into a butterfly. But I feel like with a combo of these cards, that the important message here is to open up to the miracle of your unique independent spirit. And know that we are truly never alone. We're all interdependent on each other. And that is a miracle, the way that life is created that way. The way, we really do need each other. But we need to be our own independent spirit in order to fully love ourselves and sometimes set, healthy boundaries. And that takes time. That takes time to learn all the facets of those lessons. So, like I always say, let's just be gentle with ourselves and love ourselves through it. Whatever we're having to go through, love is always the answer. Okay, thanks you guys. Take good care. Bye.